I'm Katrina, this is Tare, and I'm here with Michelle of Baker Creek. And if you don't know who she is, you likely know her voice because she is the voice of Baker Creek. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Katrina. This is fun. This is an honor. I feel important.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So Michelle came to Baker Creek, and she is a seed historian. I'm going to adjust this just a little so you're in there.
Okay.
Michelle is a seed historian with Baker Creek, and you were telling me all sorts of fun stories that none of which I actually remember all of. But you have so many awesome stories, and you have them all in your head. And I want to know, how does one become a seed historian? What was your process?
I fell down the internet. That's part of it. It's really just been a process. It's just been an evolutionary process. One of the first projects I did when I came to work at Baker Creek 6 years ago was to start a series called Seed Stories. And the whole idea behind Seed Stories was to take a deep dive into the history of some of the varieties that we sell, to explore the places from which they come, the communities that have stewarded those seeds, and in some cases the individuals and the stories behind them. And so I think I also shared this with you. I left the newsroom. I was a career journalist. I left the newsroom in 2018, retired from journalism. I was just done.
Worn out, burned out?
Burned out, worn out, and I had no idea what I was going to do. And this opportunity came along to work at Baker Creek. And the truth is that it has been so good for me to use what I know, to use my gifts in the service of something that makes me feel more whole rather than more fragmented.
Absolutely.
And to do something in the service of a movement that truly speaks to me, that really is that really affirms my values, for building community, for telling stories, for connecting people all around this incredible, diverse world of heirloom gardening.
Absolutely. And then, so you started it because you had an opportunity. Mm-hmm. You were leaving a place you were unhappy with. You were happy with Baker Creek, and you said, I'm going to do this, and fell in love with it, right? I mean, the way you talk about seeds, I know you love it.
I guess it's pretty clear that I do. So let's go back to sort of the conversation that we were having the other day. So Katrina and I ran into each other in the expo hall before
Monday.
It was before it was before the event started, and I was like, oh look, here are those tables of peppers, right? So I'm dragging them around on tour all over the expo hall, holding like peppers up and saying, this is the Jimmy Nardello. Let me tell you the story of the Jimmy Nardello pepper. This is the Murasaki pepper. This is the Horace Pippin golden pepper. And so what's so wonderful for me as a storyteller is to have the opportunity to share those stories in a way that I hope is engaging and that certainly enlivens me.
Well, it's helpful that you're excited about it, because if someone's excited about telling you a story, I mean, I remember some of the stories, but you just told me so much.
I know, I was kind of information overload.
It's engaging, and it's awesome, and you can hear it in your voice, and maybe you don't hear it maybe you don't see her in some of these videos, but you hear the excitement in her voice, and I love it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love it. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's been a long week, everybody. I swear there was something I was going to say.
I asked her to do the interview Monday when we were setting up.
I thought you'd forgotten.
And then I kept on checking in, and you were running the sound and the thing for the talks. Mm-hmm. And then every time I saw you, you were going somewhere, or I was going somewhere.
Right.
And so I'm like, it's literally nighttime, guys. It is 9:13 right now.
I think they've probably locked us out of the fairgrounds at this point. I'm going to have to call for help.
But we finally got together and we're doing it.
I love it. I love that you asked me to do this. And so I think that, one of the things about this is that we really connect. I love what the poet Muriel Rukeyser says. She says, "We are not made of atoms. We are made of stories." And I think that's why this work resonates with so many people. And I think that's part of the appeal of heirloom varieties, is because for so many of them that we know the histories of, that have a traceable history, that they belong to a place, they've been stewarded by a person, they've been passed down hand to hand for generations, for hundreds of years in communities, and that we get to share them and that we get to grow them, then that just makes more stories. I was in around the seed sale area this afternoon, and I was eavesdropping on people as I was helping someone pick out seeds, and I was hearing these women talking about, "Oh, I grew this spinach and it's the best spinach I've ever grown in San Bernardino." You're just it was really terrific.
Yeah.
Right? It's just that way of
recommendations from strangers to strangers.
You've had that experience. Yeah. It's so cool. It's just so cool. People bonding over gardening. There's nothing better than that. And I forgot my train of thought again.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's good.
You were in the seed room.
Oh, I was in the seed room. So I was just thinking about the way that those stories then carry forward. And the other thing that I've really come to understand doing this work, sort of tracing the history of so many of these seeds, is that you can tell the entire story of human civilization through seeds.
Absolutely. Yeah. Seeds are food.
Seeds are food, and you can trace how, from Neolithic times and before, you can trace the migration of people. You can trace the diasporas. You can see how civilization developed and changed in all its beauty and all its ugliness through seeds. Right? Seeds are everything.
Absolutely. And you don't only have an ancient job to do; you have a job that's ongoing. So there's seeds. So can you speak a little to what Baker Creek is doing with? I know they're doing stuff in Jamaica and some Kenya stuff, and your process in that.
That's sort of that's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
One of the things that we are really excited about is working with international partners. So we have a whole group of people working in Jamaica, both at a trial farm and seed growing operation, and also doing customer service for us. So if you call up and you have a question about one of our varieties or some growing question, one of the people that you may talk to is Shanicia in Jamaica, right?
There's someone in a different country who actually knows what they're talking about.
Exactly. And we work with a group in Japan, sourcing seeds, doing outreach, working with chefs. We're beginning some seed production work in Kenya. We have a really wonderful grower named Solomon Amuzu in Ghana. He's been sourcing and growing out all kinds of amazing varieties for us. Loofahs, basils, butterfly pea, we have a new variety that's coming out in the catalog in 2025.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, it's this crazy, huge, it's bellow gourd, that's the name of it. Bellow gourd, it's this big, long, cylindrical gourd that has the umami flavor of mushrooms when you cook it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it'll also feed if you're at a dinner party, you could feed 25 people with the thing. So not only are you helping, not only are we getting seeds available to us that are rare and unusual and have unique stories,
Baker Creek is also helping them find the true lines of those seeds and to define those and to help people get those back into their culture.
Right, exactly. And we really do believe that the best way to save an heirloom variety is to grow it. Heirloom varieties are not, artifacts that you should put on a shelf or put in a freezer. They are meant to go in the ground and grow and nourish people. And there are far more heirlooms out in the world than we will ever find, that we would ever be able to offer. But that's part of what makes it so cool and exciting. And there's so much. We could talk.
I know, we could talk at night.
Well, the sun could come up, and we would
That's
still.
That's the moon, but it could be the sun later.
All right, I'm confused. Sorry, it's been a
you
long.
pointed right at the moon.
Whoa, it's been a long week. But yeah, I mean, that really is it.
Yeah.
And the idea that we can do that we can continue to do that, we continue to expand the work, we continue to expand the circle together.
It's a worldwide connection.
It really is a worldwide connection.
Yeah.
And we haven't even touched on, we were talking about true heirlooms, those historically and culturally significant varieties. And there are far more of those.
There's families that have their individual varieties as well.
Exactly, and there are far more of those that have been lost to time than have been found. But the search for them continues, and we continue to look for the threads and connect them.
Right.
And then there are all the really exciting open pollinated varieties, the new heirlooms, right?
Right.
That open pollinated breeders are selecting for and working on, all in the service of creating a more sustainable and more just food supply.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you share your favorite story?
My favorite heirloom?
Favorite seed story.
My favorite seed
Not your favorite story.
All right. Well, you're asking me to choose one of my. You're asking me to choose
your babies.
You're choosing to ask. Yeah, one of my children is more special than the other. Okay,
we're going to be here all night.
Okay, yeah, we're going to be here all night. We'll be here all night. That's a tough one.
Choose one.
Actually,
I'm not going to ask you your least favorite. I'm going to ask you a good one.
No, please don't ask me my least favorite. I don't have one. Actually, there's a story I really love, and it has to do with the white marigold. So in the 50s, Burpee was trying very hard to breed a white marigold. And so David Burpee, being the sort of showman that he was, he put out a call for home gardeners to submit their seeds. They had a contest. And there's this woman named Alice Vonk from Sully, Iowa, the tiny little town of Sully, Iowa, who entered the contest every year for nearly 20 years before she won. Alice was a character. She was an artist. She was a musician. She was funny, and she was just a marvelous gardener. And she over the years became like pen pals with the people at Burpee. And then I believe it was in 1974 she was declared the winner. She won $10,000. She enjoyed a burst of fame. There was a parade in Sully held in her honor. For a while, the sign outside Sully, Iowa said, Sully, Iowa, home of Alice Vonk and the white marigold. And it had a hand-painted picture of the flower that Alice herself had painted.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know what? Her nephew told me that with the $10,000 that she won, she bought herself a really good Troy-built tractor, and she was a terrible driver, and all of her kids were scared to drive with her. But she could drive the tractor pretty well, and she would drive the tractor up and down the streets in Sully, Iowa, from one house that they used to live in, where she still had a garden, to her new house where she also gardened. Yeah. So I just love that story. There are a million stories. So.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Is there anything I didn't ask or that you want to talk about?
We could be here all night.
I know.
No.
I know.
Thank you. Can I hug you on
Yes, of
camera?
course you
Is that
can.
all right?
Of course you
Oh my
can.
gosh. You're so wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. I feel special.
You are special. All right, so you can find Baker Creek at rareseeds.com, and where else?
All over the intertubes. Let's see. We've got rareseeds.com. You can follow us on Facebook at Rare Seeds. You can follow us on Instagram at Baker Creek Seeds. We're on X, kind of, sort of. Pinterest. Yeah.
Awesome.
YouTube, of course, and our YouTube channel is Rare Seeds BC.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Please like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already here. Please like and subscribe her wonderful voiceover videos and all their other stuff too.
Okay.
And we will see you hopefully at the next Heirloom Expo next year, and have a wonderful night. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.